Hey guys, welcome to the last exercise of this introductory course to real flow. In this case, we are going to do something like more abstract. Why? Because many advertisements use these kinds of effects where abstract objects become deformed. Okay? So let's get started. First, as always, undock the panel and dock it again. Okay? Then create a scene. We are going to insert a sphere and create an object emitter. Drag the sphere to the body in the Properties panel and check the animation. For the moment, we are going to hide the sphere. We are going to start working with the emitter, so reduce the speed considerably. That's it. And insert a measure. Here in the Mesh panel, we can tweak different parameters. Let's set Smooth at 1 and Radius at 9. In order to reduce its weight. Go again to the sphere and change the number of segments to 15, more or less. And there it goes. This is the effect, okay? Guys, important. Remember to save the file from time to time, since these are simulations and animation and the device we are working with is likely to crash. Ready for keep working. What I want to add now is a spherical effect to this animation. So go to the demons list and click on the drag option. Increase the drag strength and you'll get this spherical shape. Another important parameter in the emitter is the distance threshold. If we blow it up to 115, the sphere's particles are quite separated now, right? The good thing is that we can animate it. And that's what we want. Well, let's set it again to 10. And now I'm going to select the demon cheetah. The advantage of working with abstract animation is that we can play around with many parameters because it's abstract. And this exercise is specifically about trying out different options to see possible and diverse results. Let's add a demon noise, which is great for randomly disturbing particles. So let's animate it. Go to the emitter and modify the speed. Okay, it's now at 36. Activate the keyframing option to speed up the process. Move the time indicator to 10 and select again a speed of 36. Move again the time indicator to 17 and this time increase the speed considerably. That's it. Move again to 25 and keep the speed. Okay, now to 28 and reduce the speed a lot. Guys, by modifying the parameters, we get different effects in a single animation. Keep working and make sure the keyframe is activated. Now I'm going to play around with the distance thresholds. Okay? Let's see the result. Guys, remember we added the noise field before, so don't forget to activate it since it will be of great help, especially to add randomness to the scene. Cool. At this point, I'm going to add an attractor. Oops. Make sure the keyframe is disabled. Great. So we are going to animate this attractor so that the liquids flow towards the attractor, okay? Again, save the file. Okay, do you want to see the progress? Cache a simulation. Perfect. And start the simulation. Great. So, the liquid will start to be attracted to the object around the keyframe 50. Okay, so remove cache and go to the attractor to animate it. Now from this keyframe to 75, we are going to add a higher internal force at around 1,300. Okay, that's it. Mark the keyframe and see what happens. Well, as you can see, the liquid is attracted, but we still need to add more keyframes, so blow up the number of keyframes to 200. Guys, as I said, it's just a matter of patience and playing around with the different options. Now, when the simulation reaches the keyframe 120, we'll make the attractor move to the left. We could use a spline or basically move it. Thus, select the attractor, make sure it's in the 120 keyframe, and then go to coordinates and move it. What happens? Well, when the liquid reaches 120 keyframes, the attractor moves to the left. And this is an animation. What does it mean? Well, we're going to do another exercise within this one in order to create different perspective or different animations and make a video including all these simulations. So, it would be ideal to use a good material. To make things easier, go to the library and here select any already created material. And then try out different options. Let's save this scene and then we're going to create a new one. In this new scene, we are going to use a demon spline and also insert a spline. Go to the top view to generate the spline. Okay, this, and this. This. Cool. Quite easy. Then go to the Object tab within the spline's property panels and select the B-spline type. Okay. This way the spline is more curved. Now, link the spline with the demon spline. How? Well, just select the scene and drag and drop it in the real flow scene field and the spline in the spline object one. What we have here is a spline with some circles, which are the control points. The following step is quite easy. Select a circle emitter and place it at the beginning of the spline. First, I'm going to disable the display icon. It's a bit annoying. Great. Now, this circles attract the flow. If we click on the spline tab in the panel, we find here some main parameters to control the spline, and here some specific control points. Every time we click on Next or Previous, we shift from one control point to another, okay? The important thing here is observing what happens when we play around with them. If you want, you can disable the gravity option to ease the scene progress and work. So, when we start the animation, the fluid flows out but never reaches the second cycle. So increase the number of keyframes to 200. Okay, also increase the vortex strength to check what happens. Well, this time I need to remove the spline and create it again, because sometimes it just doesn't work. Okay, there it goes. Well, it's working now. If this ever happens to you, just remove it and generate it again. Well, the liquid follows the spline's path now. But we still need to modify some stuff, so go to the spline and there you find main and specific control points. If we increase the vortex strength when it goes through the first cycle, the liquid makes a sort of vortex. Huge indeed. It's quite useful if we were simulating a liquid coming out of a bottle or something like that. So let's reduce this value. The axial strength conducts the liquid to a specific point. This works great with the smaller areas. Then the radial strength, as you can see, makes possible the liquid's flow along the spline's path. Well, guys, let's talk about now the specific control points. Move on to the next point and add a new one. We can also delete a point. Regarding the rest of the parameters, play around with them. See what happens after increasing the radial one. If we lower it, the liquid goes through the circles perfectly. It's also possible to modify the radius. Okay? Okay, guys, when your scene is ready, what we are going to do is activate the measure to visualize the liquid, and at this point we can add a material. As I said before, what we are going to do is join these to a scene together and use different cameras to get different perspectives of the animation. If you want, you can modify the parameters to get different effects. Okay? So let's see all this together. As you can see, I've already exported the video and, well, this is the result. This is the liquid from the second video. This is the beginning of the spline we created in the second exercise. And this is the end. It's also the same spline, but from a different perspective. Okay, and here we have our first animation. Let me show you the entire animation. By combining these two elements, we've created a quite interesting composition in only, let's say, 13 minutes. Well, guys, this Exercise is quite useful for creating abstract scenes and combine them afterward to get amazing results similar to this one. And this is the end of the course. I really hope that you liked it. And, well, I know that this plugin is quite complex, so you may need extra practice to get to know it and become real professionals. And again, thank you very much and see you in the next one. See you very soon.